Hey everybody, big news. The Biden administration just announced that they're going to protect old growth forests from commercial logging, except not really. So you may have already heard about this because other environmental groups and news outlets are sharing news, but the headlines are a bit misleading, and we've had several members and followers reach out to us with questions, so we wanted to talk about it for just a minute. So here's the headline. It says, the U.S. Forest Service moves to stop commercial logging in old growth forests, announcing a nationwide forest plan amendment focused on conserving old growth in all 154 national forests. Various news outlets are putting out similar headlines. And this should be great news for our forests. If you know anything about how important old growth forests are for preserving biodiversity or for combating climate change, this should be great news. But as always, the devil's in the details, and nowhere in the actual language of the announcement does the administration say that commercial logging will be banned in old growth forests. Rather, according to the actual language, they say that vegetation management within old growth forest conditions may not be for the primary purpose of growing, tending, harvesting, or regeneration of trees for economic reasons. Ecologically appropriate harvest is permitted. And then it goes on to list over a dozen exceptions that include very broad and vague terms like fuels reduction or proactive stewardship or resilience. And you might be thinking, you guys are just being alarmist. Those exceptions are for restoration projects, not projects that resemble commercial logging. Well, let's take a look at some examples. The Climate Forest Coalition is a coalition of over 100 environmental groups across the country committed to the protection of mature and old growth forests. It released the America's Vanishing Climate Forests report. It includes a list of the 10 most concerning mature and old growth logging projects currently proposed in U.S. national forests. These projects are flagged by environmental groups around the country specifically for harming mature and old growth forests. Let me just give you the punchline first. Not a single project on that list cites economic reasons as the primary purpose for logging. Not a single one. Like the Black Hills National Forest Spruce Vegetation Management Project, where the Forest Service's primary objective is to increase overall forest resiliency and to reduce undesirable future fire behavior. It would remove virtually all mature and old spruce trees from the forest, targeting the largest and oldest spruce across 25,000 acres, and includes clear cuts more than 40 football fields or larger in size. Or there's the Daniel Boone National Forest South Redbird Wildlife Enhancement Project. Stated goal, wildlife habitat enhancement and forest restoration. This forest includes one of the wildest and most intact ecosystems in eastern Kentucky, containing some of the best remaining old growth trees in the region. The project would clear cut more than 3,800 acres, including a quarter of the portion of forest that's more than 100 years old. The Monongahela National Forest Upper Cheat River Project. Stated goal, improving forest health, providing recreation opportunities, and improving wildlife habitat. Doesn't that sound nice? It would clear cut 3,463 acres of mature hardwood. The Nez Perce Clearwater Dead Laundry Project, to reduce hazardous fuels and to improve forest health and resiliency by logging over 3,000 acres with commercial clear cuts or variations of clear cuts, many greater than 40 acres, including mature trees in designated old growth stands. Custer Gallatin National Forest South Plateau Project, not primarily for economic purposes, but also to improve resilience to insects and disease and to reduce hazardous fuels. It would clear cut more than 5,500 acres of mature lodgepole pine, most of the trees 90 years and older. And the list goes on. In fact, of all the top 10 projects highlighted, not a single one of them would necessarily be excluded by this new old growth forest policy as currently proposed. And this is a major problem because if we truly want to protect old growth forests, but the Forest Service is in the habit of branding virtually every logging project in its portfolio these days as healthy forest management, even clear cuts, then we're going to need a lot more clarity in this policy to make sure that these harmful commercial logging practices are truly prohibited. So we're not ready to celebrate quite yet. We applaud the Biden administration's attention to this issue. It's essential that we protect old growth forests, but we've got a lot more work to do if we're really going to be serious about it. So please consider signing our petition and joining us in asking the administration to tighten up these massive loopholes in its proposal. Let's work together to protect old-growth forests. You can find the link to our petition below, or at link in bio, or at our website, lpfw.org/action. Thanks for your support.